Good morning, students. So, today we are going to start with elimination reactions of haloalkanes and chemical properties of haloarenes. Okay, so let us first start with elimination reactions. So, in elimination reactions of alkyl halides, we name this reaction as beta elimination reaction also. So, first of all, we should know what is the meaning of alpha and beta. Okay, now see, in alkyl halides there is one carbon halogen bond. Now that carbon with which halo group is attached is termed as alpha carbon, and the next carbon to alpha is called beta carbon, and next is called gamma carbon, and so on in all the directions. So what is beta carbon? That carbon which is bonded to alpha carbon. And what is alpha carbon? Alpha carbon is that carbon with which halo group is attached. Okay, so in beta elimination reaction, what happens? One group comes out from alpha carbon and the second group comes out from the beta carbon. So if this type of reaction occurs where one group attached with beta carbon comes out and the other group is halo group which comes out, then such reaction is called beta elimination reaction. Now if we take any alkyl halide and we perform this beta elimination reaction, then there will be formation of an alkene. So this halo group will go out, and similarly one more group attached with beta carbon will go out, and the resulting solution will contain an alkene. Okay, so this type of reaction is called beta elimination reaction. Now the question comes that if there is presence of more than one beta carbon, then what happens? Now see, if we take the example of 2-bromopentane, then this is alpha carbon and this is beta carbon and this is also beta carbon. So there is presence of two beta carbons. Now the one group will come out from the alpha carbon, that is halo group, and the second group may come out from either this or from this. So there are two possibilities of products. Now first of all we will write both the products formed. If the group which comes out is from this carbon, then this type of alkene will be formed, and if the group comes out from this particular beta carbon, then alkene formed will be this. Now the question arises, out of these two alkenes, which will be the major product and which will be the minor product? So major product will be that alkene which is a maximum alkylated. Now what do we mean by maximum alkylated? That we have to check from the product where is our doubly bonded carbon. If there is presence of alkyl groups on both sides of the doubly bonded carbon, then it is called maximum alkylated alkene. And if there is presence of alkyl group on only one side of the doubly bonded carbon, then it is called less alkylated alkene. So it means this one will be the maximum alkylated, that is pent-2-ene will be maximum alkylated, and so it will be the major product. Pent-1-ene will be less alkylated and it will be the minor product. Minor product means it will be 10 to 20% formation, and major product will be 80 to 90% formation. Okay, so this thing is called Set-Jeff's rule. So this rule is Set-Jeff rule, according to which we decide which will be the major product or which will be formed more. Okay, so what is the rule? That alkene formed is preferred which is maximum alkylated. Okay, now let us discuss the difference between elimination and substitution. Now see, in case of alkyl halides, either elimination will take place or substitution will take place. Which will occur, it depends on the type of reactants involved. Now see, if there is a molecule which is coming towards the alkyl halide is tertiary. Okay, that particular group which is coming towards the alkyl halide is tertiary, then it will be having bulkier group. It will be the bulkier group, and then this will lead to elimination reaction, because elimination will occur easily. Okay, see from this diagram we can see that this is a larger group, so it is very difficult to get attached with this. So better is that it tries to accept proton from the alkyl halide, and then it forms separate molecule and there is elimination reaction. But in case there is presence of smaller group which is going to get attacked with the alkyl halide, then what is going to happen? Since it is smaller group, so substitution may occur because there is less steric hindrance and it can easily get attached with this. Okay, so as we discussed earlier that there is SN1 and SN2 mechanisms, so it means if there is smaller group which is going to attack the alkyl halide, then it will follow SN2 mechanism. Okay, it will follow SN2 mechanism and it will get attached with the alkyl halide and a halo group will get liberated, and so we will say there is substitution reaction occurring. But in case of bulkier group, when there is bulkier group which is going to get attached with alkyl halide, then what will happen? Then there will be SN1 mechanism. First of all, that particular alkyl halide will provide a proton. It will undergo formation of carbocation, and so what will happen? There will be elimination reaction because that will be preferred. Okay, so what we can say? We can say that when there are two possibilities that either elimination or substitution has to occur, then what is going to happen? That process will occur which can occur easily. So whatever is the easiest, that will occur. Okay, now let us discuss reaction with metals. Okay, so first of all, what do we know about organometallic compounds? Now see, organometallic compound, as two words are there, organic and metallic. So such compounds in which there is presence of carbon metal bond, such compounds are called organometallic compounds. Now very simple organometallic compound is Grignard reagent. It is in general represented as RMgX. RMgX is Grignard reagent. And similarly there is ARMgX also, that is also called Grignard reagent. This is aromatic Grignard reagent and it is aliphatic. This is aliphatic and this is aromatic. So when we have to prepare Grignard reagent, then the easiest way is we have to heat alkyl halide with magnesium in the presence of dry ether, and there is formation of Grignard reagent. Okay, so now what about its nature? The nature of Grignard reagent is that the bond between halo group and the metal is purely ionic. It is purely ionic, but the bond between carbon and magnesium, that is also polar, but the nature of the bond is covalent. So because this is also polar and this halo group attached, that results in ionic formation. So there is existence of ionic bond between the halo group and RMg. Okay, now Grignard reagents are highly reactive and they react with any source of proton to give hydrocarbons. Now see, just like if you want to use alkyl halide for certain reaction, this Grignard reagent for certain reaction, then we have to take care that there must not be presence of water, because what is their nature? Their nature is that they will definitely gain hydroxide ion, and this they will get converted into alkene after gaining hydrogen. Okay, so that will happen. So what we do is that whenever we have to use Grignard reagent, then there must not be presence of even traces of water, otherwise that will form alkane. So this will happen. So now see, just like if we perform Wurtz reaction. So what is Wurtz reaction? Alkyl halides, they react with sodium in a dry ether. Dry ether is taken because Grignard reagent, or we say these alkyl halides, they can change into this alkene. Alkene will be formed. Okay, so just to avoid, what we do, we take dry ether, and what happens, alkyl halide changes into alkane in this case in the presence of dry ether. So this is a very simple reaction. What we have to do, we will say that alkyl halide, when reacts with sodium, it forms alkane and sodium halide. So this is Wurtz reaction. Now the question comes that if we see the reactions of alkyl halides and aryl halides, then aryl halides are less reactive towards nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now see, what are nucleophilic substitution reactions? Those reactions in which a nucleophile gets attached with the alkyl halide and another nucleophile which was present inside the alkyl halide, that will go out. Okay, so in case of aryl halides, if we see, their reactivity towards such reactions is less. So why is it so? There are few reasons. First reason is resonance effect. This question is also asked like this, that haloarenes are less reactive than haloalkanes. Why? So haloarenes are more stable than haloalkanes. That is why they are less reactive. Now why they are so stable? So very first reason is a resonance effect. In case of resonance, when we see the structures of haloarene, then there is existence of resonance. The phenomena of resonance occurs, just like this type of resonance is there. So because of resonance, what happens, there is existence of partial double bond between the carbon and halo group. There is partial double bond character in the carbon halogen. So because of this bond, it is difficult to break it. So because of this difficulty, it is less reactive, or it is more stable. Now second point is, when we look at the type of hybridization which is occurring in the carbon of the CX bond in case of haloalkane and in case of haloarene, then what we find, in case of haloarenes, the carbon which is bonded to halo group is sp2 hybridized, and the carbon in case of haloalkanes is sp3 hybridized. So it means there is 33.3% S character in case of haloarene, and in case of haloalkane there is 25% S character. So because of more S character in case of haloarenes, the carbon is more electronegative. Okay, carbon is more electronegative. So what happens, the shared pair of electrons between carbon and X bond, the shared pair of electron between carbon and X bond is more tightly bound than in case of haloalkane. Okay, so because of this, what happens, it becomes difficult to break the bond. So because of more attractive force, because of more strong bonding of the CX bond in case of haloarene, its bond length becomes less, and so more energy is required for its breakage. Whereas in case of haloalkane, the bond length is larger because of less attractive force, so it is easier to break this bond. Okay, so what we can say, that haloalkanes are more reactive than haloarenes. Now one more thing, instability of phenyl cation. Now see, when we talk about haloarenes, then if it undergoes self ionization, then there will be formation of phenyl cation. Okay, now see, phenyl cation will not be stabilized by resonance. Therefore, SN1 mechanism is ruled out. So since this is not stabilized by resonance, so this mechanism will not occur. Okay, now see, one more thing, because of the possible repulsion, it is less likely for the electron rich nucleophile to approach electron rich arenes. Okay, so since nucleophiles are electron rich species, so when they will approach towards electron rich arenes, then they will feel repulsive forces. So because of this repulsion, we can say that they will not show more reactivity. Okay, now the question comes about their chemical reactions of haloarenes. Now first of all, let us replace halo group by hydroxyl group. Okay, now see, the very first reaction is called Dawes process. Now in this reaction, what we do, we take chlorobenzene and we react it in presence of sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid at a temperature of 623 Kelvin and 300 atmospheric pressure. So what happens, we get phenol as the product. Okay, now the question is, if there is presence of electron withdrawing group with this reactant, then will it affect the reaction or no? So what we will say, that the presence of electron withdrawing group increases the reactivity of the haloarenes. Okay, now why this increases the reactivity of the haloarenes? Because of the presence of this group, this electron withdrawing group, what happens, it withdraws electrons towards itself, and so because of this tendency, the attachment of OH, that becomes easier. Okay, so now see, if I take this para nitrochlorobenzene, then this will be more reactive as compared to chlorobenzene. Okay, so my conditions will also change. Now when we react nitrochlorobenzene with sodium hydroxide in the presence of acid, then we need temperature only 443 Kelvin, and there will be formation of para nitrophenol. Okay, high pressure is not required, so it means it has become more reactive. Now similarly, if we take double nitro group, just like here we have taken the molecule as reactant in which two nitro groups are attached, then it will further increase the reactivity, and so the temperature required will again decrease, and it will be reacting at 368 Kelvin temperature, and it will form the phenol having two nitro groups attached. Okay, now similarly, if I take this one where three nitro groups are attached in the reactant, then we just have to warm it in the presence of water, and there will be formation of phenol having three nitro groups attached. So it means that there is increase in the reactivity of the molecule because of the presence of electron withdrawing groups. Okay, now the question comes that if we see the reactions, then we have taken nitro group only either at ortho position or at para position, but we have not taken at meta position. Why is it so? Whether meta nitrochlorobenzene will show more reactivity or no? So the answer is, it will not show more reactivity. There is no effect of nitro group attached at meta position for increasing the reactivity. Now see, why is it so? Now it is clear from the mechanism. When we see that there is presence of nitro group at the para position, then what happens? When OH group gets attached, then there is development of negative charge at the ortho position, and when we see the resonating structures, then negative charge moves on para and ortho positions. Okay, now see, since there is presence of negative charge on the carbon with which NO2 group is attached, so it stabilizes the formation of resonating structures. Okay, now see, in case of para, there is formation of negative charge, and the position where negative charge is present, NO2 group is also attached. Similarly, for ortho, if it is ortho product, then also there is formation of negative charge at ortho and para position, and NO2 group is also attached with the same carbon where negative charge is developing. So this stabilizes the molecule. But if we see for meta isomer, then what happens? The negative charge developed is at ortho and para position, whereas NO2 group is attached at meta position. So this destabilizes the molecule. So it means that such structure formation is not stable, so that will not increase the reactivity of the species. But at ortho and para position, the presence of negative charge on the carbon to which NO2 group is attached stabilizes the molecule. Okay, so the reactivity increases when the nitro group or electron withdrawing group is attached at the ortho and para position. Okay, so this is what is shown here, that NO2 group shows its effect only at ortho and para positions and not at meta position. So why is it so? Because nitro group, in case of meta nitrobenzene, none of the resonating structures bear the negative charge on carbon atom bearing the NO2 group. Okay, therefore the presence of nitro group at meta position does not stabilize the negative charge, and no effect on reactivity is observed by the presence of NO2 group at the meta position. Okay, so it means if there is development of negative charge at the position where electron withdrawing group is attached, then that group will show, that group will be responsible for extra stability of the molecule. Okay, so on the basis of this, you have to solve these home assignments. Okay, thank you.